We have a lot of news to cover in this video.
It must be $1.9 trillion despite the fact that there's continued job growth and that we have seen some positive economic data in the form of retail sales and consumer prices and other data that's been coming in. And I spoke to a couple senior administration officials to try to get the White House's thinking on exactly why it believes, regardless of all of this data, that this is what the economy needs right now and is not budging. And two themes emerge from those conversations. First, many of these officials who are advising President Biden served in the Obama administration. And
this is your news report, stimulus check update, and stimulus package update. I hope all of you are having a great day so far. My message to our politicians is to just pass the stimulus checks. The great American people cannot continue to wait. The American people cannot wait for another 9 or 10 months. Congress must stop playing the political games. Folks, if you agree with my message, then leave a comment down below saying I agree.
They still feel that they were unfairly criticized following the 2008 financial crisis for the protracted nature of that recovery and how long it took back to get to pre-recession levels. They point out now that the jobs data like we saw today is a backward-looking number and that they feel that weekly jobless claims is a more accurate real-time gauge of where things stand. And to that end, they point out that even when numbers improve, they're still worse than the worst week during the last financial crisis, which in March 2009 was 665,000 weekly claims. And so they are still on defense, essentially, from the last financial crisis, and they want President Biden to be approaching year 2 of his term on a strong economic foot. The second issue is they feel that what they learned under the Trump administration is that the economy can run hotter than perhaps economists once thought, that under the Trump administration, you had low rates, low taxes, easy money, 4% unemployment, and even then inflation was elusive. So with the economy where it is right now, that inflation perhaps is not an immediate risk, even with all of this money coming into the system. Whether you believe that or not, that's up to you. But that is the argument that the White House and various officials who are advising President Biden are making behind the scenes.
And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell, because in this video, I'll be discussing the latest news about a third stimulus check, unemployment benefits, as well as the SSI and SSDI payments.
That is Exhibit A of where we are in the reality of Washington, as opposed to the aspiration that Joe Biden in particular came into office with, which is, let's work across the aisle, let's change the tone and tenor. That might be possible on some pieces of legislation down the road, but it's certainly not where we are now. And the reality also is that a lot of the Republicans, maybe not Ron Johnson, but others, actually I think Ron Johnson did support the idea of direct payments to Americans to help to stimulate the economy, not to mention their own bank accounts.
Very brief comments. Today's jobs report shows that the American Rescue Plan is urgently needed in our view. Our economy still has 9.5 million fewer jobs than it had this time last year. And at that rate, it would take 2 years to get us back on track. We have 1 million fewer educators, 1 million fewer educators than we did this time last year. We've lost 400,000 small businesses. All those empty storefronts aren't just shattered dreams, they're warning lights that are going off in state and local budgets that are being stretched because of the lack of tax revenue. And some last month's job growth is a result of the December relief package, but without a rescue plan, these gains are going to slow. We can't afford 1 step forward and 2 steps backward. We need to beat the virus, provide essential relief, and build an inclusive recovery. People need the help now. In less than 2 weeks, enhanced unemployment benefits will begin to expire for 11 million people. At least 7 million kids don't have enough food to eat on a regular basis. 13 million people are behind in their rent. And the rescue plan is absolutely essential for turning this around, getting kids back to school safely, getting a lifeline in small business, and getting the upper hand on COVID-19. That's what we're going to be talking about now, so I thank you all for coming on in. Thank you.
If you told me that you could spend $355 billion by voice vote, I would have believed it. That's what we did in April of 2020. September of last year, 8 billion, 84 to 10. And December 21st, we approved, working together, 1.4 trillion. So what we've been able to do, working with Democrats and Republicans, is to appropriate $4 trillion in a bipartisan manner. Here's the question for the American people. What the hell happened? We had the House, they had the House, we had the Senate and the White House. Now they've got it all. So they've chosen a partisan path. And the reason we're not doing it together now is they don't want to do it together. They've got a wish list.
The Senate opened debate on the relief bill Thursday and launched a marathon effort that could stretch out into the weekend before a final vote occurs. If passed in the chamber, the bill will have to go back to the House for a separate vote before Biden signs it into law. The chamber's bill narrows income eligibility for the $1,400 checks and does not include a provision to increase federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. Senator Mitt Romney supports the GOP senator's plan to delay the stimulus relief vote. Mitt Romney of Utah said he supports Senator Ron Johnson's plan to delay the vote on the $1.9 trillion bill. The reading by Senate clerks could last about 10 hours. Johnson reiterated Thursday that he is absolutely committed to objecting to force a full reading of the 600-page bill. It looks like our politicians in Congress are playing political games again. Now Joe Biden has agreed to narrow eligibility for a new round of $1,400 payments in his $1.9 trillion bill, a concession to moderate Senate Democrats as party leaders moved Wednesday to lock down support and finalize the sweeping legislation. Under the new structure, the checks will phase out faster for those at higher income levels, compared to the previous proposals. Supplemental Security Income, or the SSI program, provides monthly payments to adults and children with a disability or blindness and who have income and resources below specified amounts. SSI payments can also be made to people 65 and older without disabilities who meet the financial limits. People who have worked long enough may also qualify to receive Social Security disability or retirement benefits plus SSI. Now the SSDI program pays benefits to you if you are insured, meaning that you worked long enough and recently enough, as well as paid Social Security taxes on your earnings. The disability benefits application process for SSI and SSDI follows these general steps. You gather information and documents that you need to apply. Ocasio-Cortez argued that conservative Democrats have fought so that the Biden administration sends fewer and less generous relief checks than the previous administration did. With the Senate prepared to pass its own version of its bill as soon as this week, the House will either have to vote on that measure, or the two chambers will need to meet again to draft a bill. Thanks for watching, everybody. I truly appreciate everyone's amazing support. You guys are awesome. And until next time, have a great day and stay safe.